First of all, we're going to talk about the behind the scene. So the problematic and the good thing that happen are going to happen during her interview. For us, it's difficult to find someone in this field who could answer to some question in English because most of the person around us are speaking French, so that's going to be something difficult. But at one time, I think about my boss, and this time I remember that he's bilingual. So we decided to contact him and to ask him if he want to do an interview and talk about his job. At this time he accepted with pleasure. I need to explain that I was really surprised because I know that at this time of the year he have a lot of things to do. So we were really happy that he accepted with pleasure her interview. During her interview, we want to ask some good questions, and they need to be relevant. After a brainstorming, we have selected some questions that we think it will be easy to have a lot of information about his work. But we find something difficult that we have a time to respect. So we don't know how many questions we need to ask because we don't know if you're gonna give a lot of detail or not. So that's something difficult for us because we know that we talk a lot and we want to know a lot of questions and a lot of answer about him. So we don't know if we're gonna respect the time because we need to I don't know how to say in English.
We not need to exceed the time that we have.
Yeah, exactly. And we need to cover all the subjects. So that's something important during her interview.
And for us, it's easy to work in team because often in specialized education, we need to do project in team. So me and Sandra always do project in team, and we know well each other. So we know that both we are creative person, and it's easy for us to bring a good idea to this project. But we have a concern about how we will record the video for the interview because we have an iPhone, but we need to see both of us on the video. So maybe
it will be difficult.
We think that we will put the iPhone on the desk, or we will ask to someone on place if this person can film us during the interview.
Maybe my other boss can do it.
Yes, and if this solution don't work, we'll need to split the interview in two parts to talk about 2 minutes each in the interview.
That's it.
Stéphane Marcoux, who is a special care consultant. So we will ask him some questions.
Okay, the first question is about the motivation. Why you decide to work in this field?
Since I've been a young boy, I've always wanted to help people. Even when I was at school, I always wanted to help people who had difficulties. I always wanted to reach out and help them.
Okay.
About the stress management, do you live a lot of stress at your job or?
Yeah, there's a lot of stress. You know, sometimes it's different things, different tasks that you got to achieve, and then sometimes it's with the clientele. Sometimes you have a conflict that you have to fix, and it happens. But you have to find ways to manage your stress.
What are your tricks you can give?
Well, sometimes depending on the situation, oftentimes we will just, I'll just walk away from a situation trying to regroup myself.
Okay, perfect.
When there are difficult situations at your job, what are your tricks to manage your stress?
Well, like I said earlier, of course, is I try and walk away from a situation a little bit, or asking help from a teammate. My teammate at work at the program, we communicate quite well, and we're able to tell each other when we need each other's support more in certain situations.
Okay. The teamwork. What do you think about teamwork? Is it a good thing for you, or?
It's very important, teamwork, because in the field we're doing, and probably you ladies are studying in this field, you'll find it later on in your stage and in the field. That you need to rely a lot on your teammates, and you need to have a good communication. It's very important to be with someone that you can really totally trust in a sense, because if you don't trust that person in the communication aspect, you don't have much.
Okay. Perspectives. Do you think that it's possible to upgrade your position in your organization, or?
Well, for me personally, what I'm doing right now is pretty much where I want to be.
Okay.
I really want to concretely help people in the field. I don't want to be some kind of a manager, because I believe in the field in Quebec right now and the way things are, I believe the real differences is not made by filling a form and saying, oh, this patient needs this. It's to actually put the form aside and actually concretely work with the client to change his or her life.
Okay. Okay. Now the balance. Is it hard for you to conciliate the time that you spend at your job and the time that you have for your personal activities?
Well, it is. Yeah, it's harder now in this where I am in this job presently, because we do a lot of program now. We've developed a lot of things the last 2 years, and we offer a lot of hours of services. So there's a lot more management. It's harder for me to find, good leisure time, and it's a little bit more demanding, but the difference we made is very good. So hopefully, I'll find down the road sometimes to go back to my activity. That'd be kind of good.
Professional challenge. Which are the skills that you must have to work here, and why are they important according to you?
Yeah. Well, I think one of the most important skills you may have in this field of special care counseling is compassion. You need to be very compassionate. You need to have compassion for whatever reason. If you don't have compassion, it's very hard to put yourself in the situation of the person you help.
Yes.
Okay. Some other topics. Could you describe your role and your duties?
Well, I'm a coordinator. I also develop activities. So or I even support people in individual plan of care IEPs, and in schools, and or with people from the CRDI, or I'm 4 days a week. I'm also in the field doing a program at a vineyard. And then I have sometimes at the office here, where I manage a whole bunch of different little things, little issues, staff, and so I have many hats, and so
Okay,
a lot of things.
And the last question.
Yeah.
Could you talk about the studies that you did to have this job?
Okay. Well, I have my back in in recreation therapy, and it's very similar to special care counseling, except it's a little bit to a higher level, where we use leisure as a mode of intervention. Could be with people who have a traumatic brain injury, or autistic, or just plain who had a car accident, can no longer walk, or so we use leisure as a way to get back to a certain degree of functioning. And in the field, like what I do here at work, is I put a lot of focus on leisure, and because the people we serve oftentimes don't have enough positive leisure in their life, and which the sign of boredom is TV and so on and so forth. So that's the kind of stuff we do.
Okay, but thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Finally, we're happy the interview was successful. We find someone who accepted to film the interview, my other boss, Miriam. We practice before the interview to be able to say correctly the question and the words, because for us it's really important to have a good interview. And we also separate the question to talk equally. We were really prepared, but we are a little bit stressed. So during the interview, we made some mistake on the pronunciation of some words. But globally, I think we did a great job.
Yes, it was a good experience, because we could learn about what is the specialized counselor in education, which is not really the same thing than a special needs educator. Their knowledge is different. So the special counselor in education use more the leisure as a therapeutic way to answer to the needs of the clients. So it's good to know that, because if we want to continue our studies, it's an option for us at the university the bac is giving at the University of Concordia. I think that if we have to repeat this project, we will change nothing because we had a good preparation, and the person that we choose for the interview was really gentle, and he answered to our question perfectly by giving details and precision.
Example.
Yes.
We accept the time, but her question was precise, so I think it's not a bad thing because we don't accept too much.
No.
We have liked this experience, but we find the technological aspect very difficult because me and Sabrina were not very good
Yes.
with the computer.
Yes.
That's it.